Don't let this ever happen to you. Hackers and scammers are lurking about trying to get access to your accounts and steal your information to damage not only your devices but also your reputation. So, as a smart online citizen, it is of utmost importance to secure your secrets. This is easy as ABCDE. A. Always use screen locks. Protect your phone from unwanted entry by creating a complicated screen lock code or pattern. B. Be protective of your personal information. Avoid putting personal information on public devices or devices unlocked and used by a lot of people. C. Create a strong password. Use passwords that are 8 characters or longer. Use combinations of letters in different cases with numbers and symbols. It should be easy for you to remember, but difficult for hackers to guess. D. Don't share your password. Sharing your password with someone else other than your parent or guardian will put you at risk for hackers and scammers. E. Enable privacy and security settings. Learn to use app or website settings to protect your privacy, security, and safety. With the ABCDE of security, you will keep your secrets safe, secured, and secret. Remember, secure your secrets and keep those pesky hackers and scammers away. Be internet awesome! Happy browsing!
Mabuhay! Isang mapagpalang araw sa ating lahat. Ako ang inyong lingkod, Tutor Madge. Welcome sa ating ETUlay, ang ating libreng online tutorial na hatid ng ating kagawaran ng edukasyon, ICTS EdTech. Ang programang ito ay inaasahang makatutulong at maging karagdagang kaalaman sa mga mag-aaral mula kinder hanggang senior high school, ALS, Alive, at SPED learners. Bukod sa pagsagot ng mga modules, ang ETUlay ay may mga special programs din na siguradong aabangan ninyo araw-araw. Katuwang ang ating mga minamahal na mga magulang at guro ay maitutulay natin ang pagkatuto. Kaya, ihanda na ang inyong module, lapis, papel o kwaderno. Ihanda rin ang isip, mata at tenga sa isa na namang makabuluhang aralin. Tayo nang matuto, kasama ang inyong volunteer online tutor sa oras na ito.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Tutor Jovi. Okay. Okay. So, magandang hapon, our dear learners, all our viewers. Nandito na naman tayo sa isa na namang kabuluhang araw. For us, with Tutor Jovi, maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin ngayon despite of the crisis na pinagdadaanan natin ngayon. Sa ang sulok man ng mundo, sana naway nasa maayos kayong kalagayan. Tutor Jovi?
Yes, ang magandang hapon sa lahat ng ating mga online learners na sana ay malusog ang ating mga pangangatawan dahil talaga namang ang ating panahon ay nakapagbigay ng hindi magandang resulta sa atin ngayon. So kahit ganun pa man, andito pa rin tayo, masayang matuto sa matematika. So, mga learners, ano ba ang
Tutor Jovi? Yes. Please share now our FB Live and give us a heart comment. Okay, learners. Ano pang hinihintay? Please share it now and give us a heart comment. Okay. So, Tutor
Yes.
Joby, meron ka bang isa-shoutout muna before we
Okay.
start?
Siyempre, shoutout muna natin ang ating mga online learners na kanina pa ay nag-post na. Si Yana Rain Leonardo, good afternoon from Tilapayong Elementary School. Si Ria Janine Gorospe, si Heavenly Heart Tanghian. Sino pa ba? Marami kanina. Marami ding nag-share. Thank you so much. Ryan Matthew Cobar. Ayan, Faith Joy Gonzalez Alpante. Eileen Ocat, Jason Paracad Francisco, Faith J. Gonzalez Alpante, Lowton Evangelista, Mac Prinslet Nyepes, at marami pa pong iba. Yan, Tutor Wella, sige.
Yes. Okay, sige, Tutor Joby, umpisahan na natin. Go on, Tutor Joby.
Okay. So, syempre, ang ating topic ngayong week 7, subtracting a fraction from a whole number and understanding decimals. So muli, kami ang inyong mga mathematicians, Tutor Wella and Tutor Jovi. Every Friday, 3 to 3:40 p.m. Ayan, wag kakalimutan. Ayan, may mga nag-share na, Tutor Wella. So, mas
Okay.
marami, mas masaya.
Of
Ayan. So,
course.
then, Tutor Wella,
Okay.
bago tayo magpatuloy, kailangan nating magpasalamat sa ginamit nating module.
Okay, so maraming salamat sa ating masisipag na module writers at sa development team ng module and of course sa central office sa pagpapagamit sa atin ng module. Okay, maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you so much. Siyempre, may bago tayo magpatuloy, Tutor Wella, ano nga ba yung mga tatalakayin natin ngayong hapong ito?
Yes, Tutor Jovi, ang lesson natin, ang objectives natin ay after going through this module, you are expected to visualize subtraction of a fraction from a whole number, visualize decimal numbers using models like blocks, grids, number lines, and money to show the relationship to fractions. And then the last one, rename decimal numbers to fraction. Okay.
Okay. So, ihanda na ang inyong mga papel at ballpen para sabay-sabay tayong matuto sa ating aralin ngayong araw.
Okay,
Okay.
Tutor Jovi, yan. Okay, go on, Tutor Jovi.
Yes. So, last Friday, may iniwan tayong assignment sa ating mga online learners. So, tignan natin kung tama ang kanilang mga na-send na mga sagot. So, basahin ka lang po ang ating story problem. So, read and solve the problem. Mrs. Aguila likes gardening. She used 3/8 sack of garden soil in one plot and 1/4 sack of garden soil in another plot. How much garden soil did she use in all? Okay. So, Tutor Wella, maraming mga nag-send, alam ko, na mga online learners natin. So, pakita na natin yung sagot kung tama nga ba ang mga sagot nila. Okay. So, as you can see, we have there 1/4 yung sa unang plot, 3/8 sa pangalawang plot. So, ang nagamit ay 5/8. So, naipakita natin using blocks at saka yung usual way of solving. At the same ang sagot. So, 5/8 sack of soil was used. At sino-sino ang mga masusugid nating mga online learners, Tutor Wella? Yes?
Okay. So, ito na. Job well done, Cuties of the Week. Ito yung umpisa ng taon natin na mag-acknowledge tayo ng job well done, Cuties natin. Okay, sino-sino ba yan? Excited na ako. Unang-una. Ayan, si Heavenly Heart Tanghian. Very good. Si Yana Rain Leonardo. Excellent. Joyce Ann C. Manuel. Good job. Mac Prince Lit Nipes. Ayan, great work. Rihanna Flores. Wow, that's amazing. Nicolay Sinilio Mabitad. Oh, bravo. Next, si Syra Akia A. Giuliano. Oh, very good. And sino pa? May isa pa yata, Tutor Joby. Si Ria Janen Gorospe. Good job, children. You are what we call, Tutor Joby? Okay, our star students. Congratulations. Okay. Ang galing nila.
Ayan, congratulations sa ating mga online learners. Sige, mga matsigasig na mga online learners.
Of course. Okay. Tutor Joby, sa iba na hindi natin na-recognize na nag-submit, please i-hashtag nyo kami ni Tutor Joby. Hashtag Tutorwela Tutor Joby. Okay, para makita namin na nag-submit kayo ng assignment. Okay. Let's move on, Tutor Joby.
Okay, sige. Magsimula na tayo, Tutorwela. Ano nga
Okay,
ba ang Ab's favorite?
Okay, to begin with our lesson for today, let's read this story problem. Bianca bought one whole cheesy buko pie for the birthday celebration of her daughter, Avi. It is one of Avi's favorite food. When Avi's brother saw the pie, he ate 1/4 of it. What part was left for Avi? Okay, so tingnan natin. Let's understand the problem. Who bought one whole cheesy buko pie? Sino kayang bumili? Sino nga ba? Si Bianca. For whom was the pie? Learners. Okay, is it for Abby? What was the occasion? Bakit bumili siya ng buko pie? It is they have a birthday celebration. So, what part of the pie was eaten by her brother? Okay, 1/4 part of the pie. But how would you know the part of the pie left for Ave? Okay, take a look at this illustration. Ayan. Ayan ang isang buong pie that is one whole buo pa. So after kumain yung brother, ayan, kinain niya ay 1/4. So 1 ang numerator natin and then 4 ang denominator. So take a look at the denominator and how are we going to divide the pie? The denominator of the fraction tells into how many parts the whole is divided into. So, i-divide natin ngayon ang pie. So, since the denominator of the fraction is 4, we will divide the pie into 4 equal parts. Okay, so ayan na. Then, we take the 1/4 part. Oh, before 1 whole is equivalent kasi nga 4 ang ating denominator, gagawa tayo ng fraction equivalent to 1 whole. So, dahil 4 ang ating denominator, so we have 4/4 or 4/4 that is equal to 1 whole. So, after subtracting 1 part of the pie, ilan ang natira kay Ave? So, nakikita nyo na dyan. Nakuha na yung isang part, ang 1 part. Okay. So, 3/4 of the pie was left to Abe. Okay. So, tingnan ninyong mabuti, children. So, kapag isinulat natin ang number sentence, ito ang magagawa natin. So, 4/4 na equal to 1 whole minus 1/4. So, subtract the numerators and just copy the denominator. So, ano ba yung mga numerators natin? 4 and then 1. So, 4 minus 1, that is 3. Then, just copy the denominator na 4. So, ang sagot natin, therefore, 3/4 of the cheesy buko pie was left for Ave. Okay. So, tingnan ninyo, children, ha? That is how we solve using illustration. So, next, tingnan naman natin ito. Subtracting a fraction from a whole number that is more than 1. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong more than 1. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 wholes. So, tingnan natin. Let us look at this problem. Euphemia will bake her own bread. She bought 2 kilos of bread flour. She only used 1/3 kilo of the flour for the trial. So, how much bread flour was not used? Okay, so take a look at this illustration, children. I-drawing muna natin. So, 2 kilos of bread flour can be represented by the figure below. So, tingnan ninyo. Notice that only 1 whole is divided into 3 parts. So, because the fraction to be subtracted is only 1/3. So, that is, ang flour used, 1/3. Ayan. So anong magiging subtraction sentence natin dyan? Number sentence natin. So 2 minus 1/3. So since we cannot subtract dahil walang fraction ang 2, we're going to ang isang 1 whole gagawin nating fraction. So kung ano yung denominator, we are going to make that as our numerator and denominator. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 3/3. So 1 and 3/3 is equivalent to 2. So we can subtract now. So 1 and 3/3 minus 1/3. So sabi kanina, just subtract the numerator. So 3 minus 1, that is 2. And then copy the denominator, which is 3. And then bring down the whole number kasi wala naman na siyang number dyan na isa-subtract. Kaya bring it down. So, ang magiging sagot na dyan ay 1 and 2/3. Okay. So, get nyo ba, children? Okay. Did you understand the process? Wow. Sige nga. That's great, children. Okay. Let's move on to some examples. Tingnan nga natin, Tutor Joby, may example tayong na-prepare. Okay. So, tingnan ninyo ang illustration. So, ang 1 whole is equivalent to 5/5 because we divide it into 5 equal parts. And we take 2 parts. Okay, that is 2 equivalent to 2/5. Okay, so anong magiging number sentence natin? We have, 5/5 minus 2/5 is equal to 3/5. Okay. So, madali lang kapag may illustration. So, tingnan natin ang next example. More than one naman. Okay. So, take a look at the example. So, tingnan ninyo, 3 buo. Pero ilan ang ating kinuha dyan, ibabawas dyan. So, since babawas tayo ng 5/7. So, ang isang buo, dahil 5/7 lang ang ating ibabawas, yung isang 1 whole lang ang i-divide natin into 7 equal parts. So, tingnan natin. Ang isang 1 whole ay naging 7/7. So, 3 minus 5/7. Ito ay magiging 2/7 or 2/7 minus 5/7. Okay. So, since sabi kanina, you have to subtract the numerator and copy the denominator kasi wala naman tayong iba pang whole number dyan. So, 7 minus 5, that is 2. And then, copy the denominator, which is 7. And then, bring down the whole number na natira. So, 2 and 2/7. Okay. Alam mo, Tutor Jovi, tinitingnan ko yung comments. Ang dami nilang nakakuha na ng tamang sagot. Ibig sabihin, okay, they understand really the lesson. Okay. So,
Yes.
excellent, children. Thank you. Kasi nag-solve din kayo. Okay. Next.
Okay. Marunong sila, Tutor Wela, mag-rename.
Yes. Opo. Okay. Sana naintindihan nila tayo, Tutor Jovi. Okay.
Obviously naman, Tutor Wela, kasi nakikita naman natin sa kanilang mga sagot. Ayan.
Okay. Yes po, Tutor Jovi. Okay. So, let's continue, Tutor Jovi.
Okay, so let's proceed. Visualizing decimals naman po tayo. Okay, so paano nga ba mag-visualize ng decimals? So, have you seen ant crawling on the walls or on a dining table? So, nakakita na ba kayo ng mga gumagapang na langgam? So, they look similar to termites and are known as hardworking insects. Okay, yes, totoo yan, mga hardworking ang mga ants. And suppose that the average length of an ant is 8/100 of an inch. So, gaano kaya kalaki sa 8/100? So, how do you visualize 8/100 as a decimal number using grids and blocks. So papakita naman natin ngayon dito. I-visualize natin ang decimals using blocks and grids. Okay, so tignan natin paano nga ba mag-visualize ng blocks at saka ng grids. Okay, so using grids, papakita natin yung decimals using grids. As you can see, we have there one whole. And yung one whole na yun ay hinati-hati natin into small squares at yan po yung 100 square grids. And as you can see, ilang parts sa 100 square grids ang mayroong color. So it was shaded. How many parts? So meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 parts were shaded. Diba? So the whole is divided into 100 parts and 8 are shaded. Ayun, ganyan lang po magpakita pala ng fraction. So kailangan 100 square grids ang gagamitin para maipakita yung one whole. Okay? Then, 8 over 100 or 2 over 25, in decimal, it is 8 hundredths. So pag nakita nyo na isusulat yan 0.08, pero we will read it as 8 hundredths. So that is how to illustrate decimals using grids. So nakikita nyo po ha, ang bilis lang, ang dali lang, 100 square grids. Then you will just shade how many parts ang kailangan mong i-shade. So that is 8. So we can show it 8 hundredths kasi we have 100 square grids. Next, using blocks naman. So using blocks, we can see there one whole block. So ilan ang may kulay? So ilang blocks ang may kulay dyan? We have there 8. So the whole block is divided into 100 cubes. And 8 cubes were shaded. Kanina sa grid, square lang po yon. Pero sa blocks, ang meron na tayo ay cubes. So, there are 100 cubes and 8 cubes were shaded. So, aside from grids and blocks, maaari din nating ipakita ang decimal through illustration by using number line. So, as you can see, we have there how many? From 0, 10 hundredths, 20 hundredths, 30 hundredths, 40 hundredths, 50 hundredths, 60 hundredths, 70 hundredths, 80 hundredths, 90 hundredths, and 1. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, mas mataas pa rin yung 1. So, less than 1 pala kapag decimal number na. So, as you can see there, meron din tayong ipinakita as fraction. So, yung 0 to 1 natin, this is one whole. Isang buo. Okay. Then, saan yung 800s dyan? Okay, saan mo may papakita yung 800? So, as you can see, we have there a point. So, this is 800s or in decimal, we'll read it as 8 hundredths. Okay, napapansin niyo yung dulo, hindi siya dreads kasi that is how we read decimals. Okay, so yan po, using number line. So mapapakita lang natin sa isang number. So maipapakita natin doon, tutuldukan natin kung asang part. Dapat meron kayong label sa bawat grid, bawat guhit sa number line. Okay, so that is how to show decimal number using number line. Okay, next money naman tayo, using money. So papakita natin, meron tayo dito. Tandaan ninyo, 1 peso is equal to 100 centavos. Okay? So 1 peso po yun ha. Equivalent niya ay 100 centavos. So as you can see in our illustration, 1 peso is equal to 100 centavo. So paano naman natin ipapakita ang decimal number dito? So we have there 5 cents plus 1 cent plus 1 cent plus 1 cent. So meron tayong tatlong tig 1 cent. So is equal to 8 cent. 8 cent is equal to 8 hundredths peso. Nakikita niyo po yung decimal natin. Peso sign 0.08. Pero pag binasa po natin, we will read it as 8 hundredths. Okay, ganyan po yung pagpapakita ng decimal number using grid kanina. We have 100 square grids. Using blocks, we have 100 blocks with 100 cubes. Okay? Then dito naman yung isa kanina, we have using ano yung ginamit natin? Number line. Okay. And the last one, we can also show using money. So, therefore, gaano kalaki yung ant natin? Therefore, the average length of an ant in decimal is 800 inch. Okay. O yan. Tama ba ako, Tutorella? Yung pagbigkas ko ng hundreds? Yes. So, yan po yung pagpapakita ng decimal number using illustrations. Okay, so let's proceed. So, how about renaming decimals? Okay, paano nga ba mag-rename ng decimals from fractions to decimals and decimal to fractions or vice versa? Kayo ba ay katulad din ng ants na hardworking? At kayo rin ba ay katulad ng ants na napagbigay, nag-share? Okay, tingnan natin dito sa ating story problem. So, let's read. Anthony is a hardworking and generous ant. Whatever food he gets, he shares it to his friends in the colony. One day, he found one big breadcrumb. He shared 8/10 of it to his friends. What fractional part of the breadcrumb did he share to his friends? And what fractional part did he keep for himself? So, ayan, si Anthony ay masipag at mapagbigay. So, aalamin natin anong part ang natira sa kanya sa napulot niyang breadcrumbs. So, mapapakita natin dito sa ating story problem. So, let's 1 minus 8/10 is equal to 2/10. So yung 8/10 dito kanina, sabi natin kanina, yun yung breadcrumb shared to friends. That is 8/10. And the one that he kept is 2/10. So how can we rename decimal number to fraction? So gamit ang ating story problem. So we have to count the digit after the decimal point. This corresponds to the number of zeros that come after 1. The number form is the denominator. So how many digit do we have in 8/10? Ilan nga ba yung nasa 8/10 natin? Yes, may nakikita akong nagsasagot. Meron tayong isa. Okay? So, yan daw ang magpapakita kung ilang number of zeros ang nasa denominator natin. So, 8/10 ilang digit ang nasa denominator natin. So, let's proceed. Ano ang susunod? So, 10. Kasi we only have 1 digit in our decimal number. So, meaning 10 po yung ating gagamiting denominator. So, 2, obviously, gagamit din tayo ng 10. The next step, copy the digits after the decimal point in the numerator. So ano nga ba yung digit natin na nasa decimal point natin after the decimal point natin? We have, correct, we have 8. So, meaning 8/10, that is in decimal, at kapag isinulat natin o change natin into fractions, we have 8/10 or 8/10. Okay, how about the 2/10 in decimal? We will rename it as, katulad din yan, we have to copy the decimal point and we will put it in our numerator. So, 2/10. Okay, so ganyan po pala. So, we have there, 8/10 is equal to 8/10. 2/10 is equal to 2/10. Next step, reduce to lowest terms if possible. Always naman yan kapag fractions, kailangan i-change natin into lowest term. If needed po ha, if needed. So paano natin malalaman kung kailangan nating i-lowest term? Natatandaan nyo po yung GCF natin? Yun po, i-apply po natin. So 8 and 10, ano yung greatest common factor ng 8 and 10? Correct. 2. So, 8 divided by 2 equals 4. And 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So, 8, 10, or ano ang magiging sagot natin in lowest term? 4/5. Okay. Ganon din po ang gagawin natin sa 2, 10. Okay? So, 8, ang greatest common factor ng 2 and 10 ay 2 din. So, 2 divided by 2 equals 1, and 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So, 210 is equal to 1/5. Oh, yes. So, ganyan po yung pag re-rename ng decimal number to fractions. So, tingnan natin yung susunod. So, to rename proper fractions whose denominators are power of 10. So, kapag ito naman yung power of 10 naman, ano yung gagawin natin? So, kanina, meron tayong isang digit sa ating decimal number. So, power of 10. Renaming proper fractions whose denominators are power of 10. Let's proceed. And a proper fraction is a fraction whose numerator is less than its denominator. Therefore, its value is less than 1. So, tandaan natin, pinakita natin kanina na yung decimals natin ay less than 1. Okay. So, let's proceed. So, count the number of zeros in the denominator. This determines the number of decimal places or the number of digits after the decimal point. So, changing decimal to fractions naman. So, paano yan? So, we have here 8, 10. So, ano yung magiging decimal form niya? If you will rename 8, 10 into decimal. So, nakikita natin dyan, we have 10, 1, 0. So, ilang digit ang meron sa ating decimal number? Yes, meron tayong pangalawang step natin, fill in the decimal place by copying the numerator. Affix zeros when needed. So, 8, 10 ang ating fraction. So, we have 1 digit in our numerator at 1, 0 sa ating denominator. So, 8, 10 is equal to 8 tenths. So, 0.8. We read the point as end ha kapag merong whole number. Mamaya pag-aralan natin yon. So, 0.8 kapag isinusulat natin. Pero kapag binabasa natin, we will read it as 8 tenths. Okay, so let's proceed. So, let's have another example. So, 25 over 100, ilang digit meron tayo sa ating numerator? We have 2. So, at meron din tayong 2 zeros sa ating denominator. So, obviously, we will write it as 0 and 25 hundredths or 25 hundredths. Okay? So, ganyan lang po. Another, let's have 9 over 100. Ito yung sinasabi kanina. You have to put 0 if needed then. So, we only have 1 numerator and we have 2 zeros in our denominator. So, kailangan daw yung number of zeros sa ating denominator ang nagbibigay kung ilang digit ang dapat ilagay natin sa ating decimal number. So, we use 9 and we put 0 to tell us that that given is in hundredths place. So, we have there 9 over 100 is equal to 9 hundredths. Nakuha po? Naintindihan po ba? Ayan, may sumasagot. 2 digits po. May sumasagot. Si Mika Lorraine Falcatan and Joseph Haubes. May nagsagot din si Claire Danes Garcia, si Aileen Ocot. Yan, mga sinagot nila. Sinabi na nila yung dapat ilagay na number of digits. Thank you so much. O, naintindihan daw. Sabi ni Heavenly Tanghian, si Emerald Montañez, si Aileen Ocot, Catherine De Lima Ciruelas. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's proceed. Meron pa tayong gagawin. So, renaming decimal numbers as fractions with 1 digit after the decimal point. Ano nga ba ang ating magiging sagot sa 2 tenths? Sige nga, comment down your answer. Ano yung magiging fraction form niya, yung 2 tenths natin? Paki-comment nga po. Okay. So, habang hinihintay natin, Baka may i-ano ka, Tutor Wella, i-shout out ka ang ating magandang principal at mabait na mga co-teachers. Go
Okay.
on.
So, good afternoon sa ating masipag at mabait na principal, Ma'am Regina R. Albay, at sa ating mga co-teachers na very supportive. Okay, good afternoon sa inyo. And Tutor Jovi, may nakita ako dito sa comment section. Alam mo, ngayon ko lang nakita to, no? Tutor Jovi, may kasama tayo. Siguro gina-share nila din ang live ng DepEd EdTech Unit. Nakita ko, Tutor Jovi, shout out sa DepEd tayo, Region 7. And then,
Wow.
DepEd Lapu-Lapu City, Lapu-Lapu Division. Good afternoon. And of course, ito, DepEd Tambayan. Okay. Na-share nila sa mga Facebook pages nila, Tutor Jovi, ang live natin. Okay. Of course, kasama na rin dyan ang DepEd ETUlay natin na FB page. And then, DepEd
Yes.
EdTech Unit. Okay, Tutor Joby. And itong live natin napapanood din sa DepEd Philippines sa YouTube and DepEd EdTech Educational Technology Unit. Okay, so good afternoon sa ating mga online viewers and sa ating mga online learners. Maraming
Yes,
salamat.
okay. Thank you so much. So pagpatuloy na po natin, may nakita na po ako mga tamang sagot at pakita natin 2/10. Yan po yung tamang sagot. Marami din po ang nakakuha. Thank you so much. Naintindihan nga po ang ating lesson. So that is renaming decimal numbers as fractions with 1 digit after the decimal point. So tandaan nyo, 1 digit ang nating nasa number, sa decimal number, kailangan 10 din ang makikita natin sa denominator natin. Okay? Next, how about with 2 digits after the decimal point? So 37 hundredths. So what will be in fraction? Ano nga ba? Pakita na natin. We have
Yes.
there 37/100. Okay. How about with whole numbers? So 2 and 9/10. So how will you write that in fraction? Paano nga ba? Kasi meron na tayong whole number. So we have 1 digit in our decimal number. Pero meron tayong kasamang whole number. So saan natin ilalagay? Ano kaya ang magiging kalalabasan niya into fractions? So, tandaan po natin, meron tayong parang lalabas dito, magiging mixed number. So, 2 will be the whole number at yung decimal number natin na 9 will be our numerator and we will use 10 as our denominator. Yan, 2 and 9/10. Ayan, nakuha ni Mac Prinslet Niepes, Catherine Ann Morillo. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, Tutor Wella, naintindihan nila ang ating lesson. So, thank you so much. So, let's proceed. Activity na tayo, Tutor Wella, para malaman natin kung talagang naintindihan nga nila. So, ready? Online learners, ihanda na po ang inyong mga sagot. Tutor Wella, go on.
Yes, so kailangan ihanda na ang pag-type sa ating comment box for the answer in our activity. So solve the following by changing the whole number into fraction. Okay, the whole number into fraction. So by changing the whole number into fraction, so that is subtraction of fraction muna. 1 minus 5/8 muna, 5/8. Okay, parang may something wrong sa ating, ay tama pala. Okay, so what is the answer for number 1? So you have to change 1 into a fraction first so that you can get the answer. Okay. Okay, what will be the answer for number 1? Okay, Tutor Jovi, ang sagot ni Mac Prince ay 3/8. Ang sagot naman ni Heavenly ay 3/8. Si Catherine, 3/8. Sino pa kaya ang si Yana ay 3/8. Okay, so very good learners, you've got it correctly. Okay, number 2, Tutor Jovi.
Okay, reveal na natin. May mga nagsagot na rin, Tutor Wella, kaya ang sagot natin sa number 2, 4 minus 6, 7. So, marunong na silang mag-rename, Tutor Wella, ng whole number into fractions. So, we have... Anong sagot?
Okay, ayan.
Tama ba sila?
Okay, Tutor Jovi, tingnan natin kung tama nga ba. Okay, ang sagot ni Joseph ay 3 and 1/7. Ni Mac Prince, ganon din. Ni Marlene, okay. Tingnan natin. Yana Rain, 3 and 1/7. Si Mary Sofia, 3 and 1/7. And then, sino pa? Si Zerina.
Serena.
Okay, si Mary Sofia. Okay, so very good learners.
Yan.
Marunong na kayong mag-subtract ng
Okay, marami ding sumagot
yes,
kanina,
yes.
Tutor Wella.
Oo, oo,
Dalawa na
oo.
agad ang isinagot. Yes,
Oo
at
nga.
tama po yung kanilang sagot.
Dinoble
Yes.
na nila para isahan ang
Mm.
pag-type sa comment box natin.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
very good.
next
Okay, very good ang
activity.
atin. Okay, so pakita naman natin ang ating next activity, activity 2. So ito naman yung about decimal. So write the decimal number for each symbol illustrated by its model. So bilangin nga, sige nga, bigyan natin ng time ang ating mga online learners na magbilang para sa star. Ipakita siya into decimal number, yung ating moon at yung number 3 ay heart. So, please count how many moon are there, how many stars, and how many hearts in our 100 square grid. So, pakita po natin into decimal. So, decimal po natin papakita ha. So, habang nagsasagot Tutor Wella, so, i-shout out muna natin ang ating mga co-teachers sa San Lorenzo Ruiz Elementary School at ang ating mga magaling at magandang principal na si Ma'am Regina R. Albay. Kasama po niya ang ating mga master teachers at syempre ang ating mga estudyante ng San Lorenzo Ruiz. May nakikita ako, Tutor Wella, sumasaling mga Ruizians. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. Okay. So, may mga nagsagot na, Tutor Wella. Number 1, may
Number
30
1,
stars.
30 po yung
Okay,
stars. Sabi
sabi
ni
ni Niel.
Zerina. Sabi
Okay,
ni
pakita nga natin.
Zaira, number 1, 30. 30 hundreds.
Okay, yes, si Heavenly Tanghian, nakuha po niya. 30 hundreds. Very good. Okay. Ayan, may nagsagot na rin sa heart. May nagsagot na po. So, moon muna tayo. Ilan nga ba ang meron sa moon? We have how many? In decimal, we have there 20
hundreds.
Okay.
Okay.
At nakuha ni Mary Sofia Camacho. Okay.
Ni Eileen Okot. Ayan, nakuha nila. Ni
Yeah,
Nicolay.
Nicolay. Yes.
Okay. Next.
And the last one,
heart
number
naman.
3. Heart,
Okay.
ilan nga ba? Ilan nga ba yan? So, we have 2,500.
Hundreds.
Okay.
Okay,
Yan.
si Mac Prince.
So,
Si Mac Prince, tingnan natin, ay umakyat na. Kasi
ayan, si Samantha Nicole.
si
Si
Nicolay,
Nicolay,
si
Mabitas.
Anastasia, si Heavenly, si Yana, si Catherine. Okay. Big check.
Okay. Okay, so
2,500.
very good. Okay, so
Ayan.
last activity na po tayo. Last activity.
Yes.
Okay.
Complete
So,
the
Tutor
table
Wella.
below. So, decimals, andyan ang decimals natin. That is 0.31 or 31 hundredths. So, in fraction, how do we write it in fraction? Comment down your answer. Okay. For number 2, wag muna natin i-reveal, Tutor Jovi. In fraction, meron tayong 2 over 100. So, how do we write it in decimals naman? So, for number 3, we have 4.75. So, ano kaya in fraction yan? So, Tutor Jovi, for number 1, sinong nakakuha ng tamang sagot?
Ayan,
Go
may
on,
mga
Tutor
sinagot
Jovi.
na lahat ni Mac Prince Niepes. Okay, pakita natin. Number 1, we have
31 over 100.
31 over 100.
Okay. And
yes, nakuha
mostly
ni
sa
Joseph
kanila,
and Mac Prince.
mostly sa kanila, Tutor Jovi, tama ang sagot. Okay.
Yes, number 2.
Next, Tutor Jovi.
Number 2 po
Yes.
tayo. Okay, so we have
Okay. Nakuha naman ni Joseph.
100.
Yes.
Okay,
Nakuha ni
marami
Mac
din sila,
Prince.
Tutor Wella.
Yes. Oh, ni Catherine.
Catherine
Very
Ann
good.
Morillo. Yeah.
Yes. For
Okay.
number 3.
Next, number 3, we have 4 and 75 over 100. Okay, 4 and 75 hundredths. Ang fraction form niya ay 4 and 75/100. At nakuha
Oh,
ni Mac Prince Niepes, Syra,
Nicolay. Nakuha din
Nicolay,
niya.
si Ria also.
Okay.
Ria also. Okay,
Yes,
so,
and
so,
marami silang nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Okay.
okay.
So, very good learners. Maraming salamat sa pagiging very cooperative and then mabilis na pag-type sa ating comment box.
Talagang
Okay.
willing silang matuto, Tutor Ruela.
Yes.
Okay. So,
And
dyan na po ang
we appreciate talaga Tutor Joby sa nila participate. Okay.
yes, of
Next, Tutor
course.
Joby.
Okay. Okay, so syempre dito na naman nagtatapos ang ating mga activities at bago tayo magpaalam, Tutor Ruela, bigyan muna natin sila ng assignment. Ayan, so challenge yourself. Solve the problem. Andre is cleaning 10 containers. If he already cleaned 8/10 of the containers, what part of the containers is still left unclean? Express your answer as a decimal. Okay, so paki-screenshot na po yung assignment ninyo at pagka nakasagot na, i-post ulit sa FB natin, ETUlay FB page, #Tutorwela and #TutorJovi. Yes, Tutorwela?
And then
Ano na
hashtag
sunod natin?
job well done.
Well done.
Okay,
Okay,
dun.
yes.
Okay. So next, na-screenshot na ba, learners? Okay, for this, alam ko pag nakikita ko to, alam kong malapit na tayo matapos. We want to hear from you, learners. Kaya, for your feedbacks, comments, and suggestions, please start scanning the code now. Okay, maraming salamat sa inyo. Tapos na naman ang oras natin, mga bata. Maraming salamat sa oras ninyo. Remember, every Friday is Matalino Day with Tutor Joby. Kami ang inyong mga mamshi matician. Okay. Thank you kay Tutor Prince sa pagbigay ng pangalan sa atin. Mamshi Matician
Yes.
in Math 4. Of course, I am Tutor Wella together with
Tutor Jovi, nagsasabing maraming salamat po. Isang matkabuluhang araw na naman po ang naganap until next Friday. So, stay safe. Diyan lang kayo sa bahay, kids, kasi marami pa rin ang ating kalaban na hindi nakikita. So, up next, we have Tutor Joshua and Tutor Jordan for Math 5. God bless. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye!
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang #ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!